Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Shiny Heracross in the Open Master League. Of course, we're going to have the a new Mega available very soon here. So yeah, today we're going to take a look at this Pokemon. Let's see if this Pokemon can do anything here. And I would be also kind of happy to lose some Elo because in order to do those battles here that you see today for not even 3 sets, it was like 2.5 sets. It took me like 1 hour and 20 minutes just because of the queue times. It was a madness. So you're most likely going to see me tank a little bit for the next few days because it's not really worth it for me to just wait 5 minutes to get a battle in. But let's take a look at this one. And it was definitely worth it to go for the Focus Blast on my Mewtwo. If you have not seen the latest stream for at least the Master League which I've done, I changed from Shadow Ball to Focus Blast and it was definitely an interesting choice. And sometimes I do regret it, sometimes I don't regret it. In this case, it was fun, but there were also some cases where Shadow Ball definitely would have helped me a little bit. Here, a look at this beautiful catch on my Shiny Heracross, which is level 49.5. Yeah, 0.5. I won't say 49.7. This would have not really made any sense, would have. But yeah, we need like 1 more power up in order to get to level 50, which I'm going to be able to get if I can do some raids today, most likely already when you see this video. But yeah, definitely we're going to have, of course, the raid day coming up, and so I'm kind of excited for this. Are you going to play the raid day? It's going to be something that I think you can also pretty easily solo, especially if you have a Rayquaza build, as it's double weak to flying typing. Here we focus blasted the opponent's Mewtwo, the opponent here focus blasted me, so I guess it's kind of just fair, but we can go for one side strike, going to knock them out here, and we can actually go for the full farm down and win this game. By the way, we're going to have even a battle later on against Though Tactical. But we're going to have here as well a matchup that I kinda already know just from the first opponent's Pokemon already what it's going to be. Of course, the second Pokemon just going to showcase it a little bit more. There is a team that I think maybe it was actually this player. I saw like a post the last time Master League was around where someone went from like lowest ranking to like top 10 in the leaderboards with double charm and waterfall Primarina. Waterfall Primarina, of course, as an answer for Ho-Oh, but the double charm in the back for all the rest. And we can see here already why it's so strong. Of course, our team is pretty weak to Fairy-type Pokemon, which is a little bit of an issue. But there are some team ideas that I have that are coming up very soon here as well on this channel, which are going to be definitely very good against Fairy-type Pokemon, so definitely stay tuned for this. But here I was hoping that I can still survive a Disarming Voice, and it is a Moonblast, so that's going to be lovely. Of course, it does make sense to go for Disarming Voice plus Moonblast if you have a Water-type coverage already as a fast move, but here we can still try to go do our best. It's very likely that they're gonna go back into the Gardevoir here, of course. We can still go ahead and try to get a knockout, even though it's resisted, it still should do enough damage, but we see here in the back it's going to be a Togekiss, so that is going to be a good game. Next one coming up, we're going to have a great lead for us. Finally, we're going to see the opponent swapping out into a Mewtwo, and yeah, there's not really a great way of me playing this one out, most likely. I decided to go into my own Dialga, seeing if they're going to have the move Focus Blast, but they don't, they have Shadow Ball, and so this is going to be definitely a little bit better for our Dialga Origin form. I still wish I would have built my 100% variant of this thing, but yeah, I got my 100% variant basically the raid after I built this Pokemon, so that was lovely, because I actually didn't think that I would even do any raids anymore, and then I got the Hundo immediately, so lovely stuff there, but maybe I can build another Dialga eventually. Here we're going to see the opponent's Dialga coming in. We can still go for the Roar of Time, allowing us to get the shield from the opponent, and of course I get a ton of energy, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for our small Heracross to still survive. I still rather keep the shield for my Mewtwo, because Heracross, we don't have to really talk about it here right now, right? Like, I don't think anybody expects that Heracross is going to be the best Pokemon in the Open Master League. That would be definitely not the case, but you know what? There is going to be a meta, which I'm going to take a look at real quick at the site now, because it's going to be something that's available eventually, and I think PvPork updated their site already towards it. There's going to be the Master League Premier Cup eventually, and the Master League Premier Cup is going to be interesting for this thing, because now it's all of a sudden not the worst Pokemon, but as I'm going to take a look here at the ranking, it is still also apparently not the best Pokemon. So let's see where the Heracross is going to rank for the... Why is it so low? So like for the Master League Premier Cup, it is even also only at rank 72. So maybe if you think for yourself, do I really need a Heracross for the Open Master League? Is it worth it to build this Pokemon? Not only for the Mega Evolution, but also for the Open Master League for this one. Most likely not. I'm gonna take a look most likely tomorrow at the Mega Evolution as well. I just don't want to do it today. Like, I stayed awake for yesterday basically already for the Tapu Bulu, which was way past my time I usually would go to sleep, and I don't really want to do it again today. So yeah, tomorrow we're gonna take a look at the Mega Evolution of this Pokemon as well. But yeah, definitely an interesting Pokemon towards that for PvP itself. It might get an upgrade eventually. Maybe it's going to get a new charge move or whatever, and it might get a little bit better with it. But at the current time, Heracross is mostly something that you can avoid, especially as there is Boswell, which is kind of the exact same typing and kind of does a little bit of a better job there. So for yourself, don't really try too hard for the Heracross. Don't give Niantic all your money. It's not really worth it all the time, but here we're going to be able to go ahead and go up against the Primarina, and this is going to be great because I think this is actually the battle against the Tactical here, which are completely not even commentated, which is lovely. But I can still go ahead and go for the charge move here against the Kyogre, and we can actually win with 2 shields left because I get this charge move in, which I should have not been able to do, but it is what it is. We can knock them out here and win the game, which was kind of funny. This was the first battle that I did, but let's move on to the next opponent. Landorus and Elite. This is going to be a matchup that is okay-ish actually for us, because they are forced to go for the Stone Edge, and Stone Edge is going to be the only neutral move that they can go for. We can still survive one. We resist the fast move, and they resist all our moves as well, basically. If you wonder why I don't go for the neutral Rock Throw, it is Rock Blast. Rock Blast is a pretty horrible move. It is not worth it. It's just like straight up not worth it to go for it. Here we're going to actually have a very decent scenario for us, but the opponent makes a great play here by catching the move on the Zarude, which I did not expect at all. Of course, if they tried to catch it and I didn't go straight for my charge move, I would have been able to go for a Focus Blast. For me, they had a Pokemon in the lead with the Landorus, which would have got to the exact same time basically to their own charge move like my Mewtwo, so I was kind of forced to go straight for my charge move just in case they would not want to swap out. But like, this is of course a great play for them. Zarude is going to be able to go for Dark Pulse here. I already made a showcase about Zarude the last time as well. Maybe I'm going to take a look at this Pokemon again as well here for the Open Master League. But as you can see, they're going to have the Palkia in the back, and I think if they did not catch the move, I would have been fine. Here they make a great play as well, swapping out basically as well here and going for the Essentia Storm along them to drop my own attack. But they played this really, really well here. I think if they didn't catch the move, I would have been more slightly fine with the Pokemon that I had. But like this, I sadly cannot knock them out here anymore as they debuffed our attack, which was a great play by them. I actually wanted to go straight for the Side Strike as well before they swapped out, but I didn't, which was kind of silly. But yeah, my mistake. We would see the Aqua attack coming through. They're going to still try their best, but can we still go for 2 Side Strikes? We cannot. They can reach the next charge move just in time, and we can move on to the next opponent. Also, a very well-known player that we are battling here right now, by the way. Right now, of course, as I said before, like, Q times are insane for me, so I'm very happy to lose some Eater as well, trying to run some spicier stuff here. I'm like top 150 on the leaderboards right now with the Elo that I was at, and so I'm super happy if I lose some Elo right now. It's just not worth it. Like, I really wish that Niantic would do a little bit more towards PvP in terms of the structural thing. I feel like the gameplay itself is kind of okay right now. Like, it's not, of course, like, not perfect. Like, there's still some lag eventually, but if you take a look at like the gameplay a year ago, it's still way better than it was back in the day. So like, I'm kind of more happy towards that, but still, especially in terms of the reward structure and all that kind of stuff, I feel like there has to be so much more change. I would imagine that it's going to only happen when Worlds are over, which does make a lot of sense as well, because usually Niantic doesn't try to do anything with the system, because I know that there is a high likelihood of them breaking the system before like Worlds is done. So hopefully they're going to do something nice towards when Worlds is going to be done. Here we try to catch a close combat. Let's see if this is going to work out for us. Perfect, literally best catch ever. And so sadly, we are not going to do anything here, as we can move on to the next opponent. But yeah, there are so many fairy types around, so many Mewtwo around, so many Landorus around, that Heracross has basically one target, and that's a Dialga. And if you don't get the target right, it's going to be a tough one. Here we're going to be able to go for a Focus Blast to let this move go through. They decide to use a shield, which is kind of unfortunate, because now they're going to be able to win this in 2 shield. They just do more damage than I do. It is what it is. We cannot really do anything about it. We can try to still go for a bait here, because they're forced kind of to use a shield here. It is going to work out for us, and so we can go for another Side Strike, trying to get them low, trying to get them into a range where I can maybe farm them down with the Heracross, but Heracross is just not going to really do a lot here. Still, I enjoy to try out those more spicier picks as well, especially for the Master League. Roar of Time literally takes us out here. But the game is actually not over, because having a Dialga Origin form with an energy lead that big, it is actually quite possible to still win. We're going to see the Ho coming in here. We can go for the Roar of Time. Is this going to be enough to knock them out? Because then we actually have a very decent chance to win this game. It is not by like 2 fast moves, and it's like so annoying because we're barely going to die from this move as well, and we can move on to the next opponent, but it is what it is. Kyogre. Kyogre is going to be a Pokemon that can just go straight for close combat, try to do some damage here, and I'd rather have them use a shield, to be fair, but they don't do this, because if they use a shield, they kinda got into the range because of the counter damage, where one Side Strike would be enough to knock them out, but they decided to go into the Dialga, and I am gonna go straight for the Focus Blast, and I am going to regret it immediately. Like, honestly, why do they all know about my Focus Blast now? I like it, to be fair, when you have a Say Swap that has same coverage as the Elite, which I talked about like several times already in a lot of videos, because it does make a lot of sense to build teams like this. So that's also why I kind of want to have Heracross lead, Say Swap Mewtwo, because you're just going to have coverage on the Heracross, of course, for like against like all the Steel-type Pokemon, but having Focus Blast on the Mewtwo basically baits out the potential of Steel-type Pokemon, which works out the entire time really well, because you get out the Dialga all the time, and you can still punish them, and that's kind of how I try to build the team, which works out pretty well usually. But here we still have a ton of energy on our Heracross, and this is going to be a CMP tile, so there is actually still a realistic chance of winning this game, as we can try to go for a full farm down here, or maybe go for 2 charge moves with the Heracross. But let's see, they can go for the Ancient Power, it doesn't knock us out. We can go for our own Rock Blast, but yeah, we can actually not reach that, and we can move on to the next opponent. I basically had to hope there that the fast move damage from the opponent doesn't come through immediately, because I was forced to go for a Rock Blast, and then I was forced to still try to get to what's called close combat here, then later on against the Kyogre, and this just did not work out for us. Yeah, this is one of the matchups where I was like, yeah, I wish that I had Shadow Ball. And so I can still try to bait them all the time, which I'm going to try to do here. And maybe it's going to work eventually. We will see, because if we basically put them just into range for a Shadow Ball. And so yes, it's actually going to work out pretty okay for us. We will be able to get back the shield, and so at least it's not the worst matchup ever. I actually even get the Side Stroke off, which I should have not been able to do so, but like it is going to be fine for me, as now it's going to be easier farm down range for the Dialga. They're still gonna get to a charge move, but I'm not going to invest the shield here. But we're gonna get rid of the Lugia, which is going to be great. But yeah, it's kind of you really want to have 3 charge moves on your Mewtwo, which is of course not working out, but that would have been great. But here we're going to have to try to catch a move on our Heracross, I feel like. They're going to shield up the Iron Head, I'm going to try to catch, and it does not work out. And they have a Nihilego in the back, and this game was actually kind of fun. Nihilego, I actually think it has a lot of potential in the current meta. I am not joking, I think this Pokemon is great in the current meta. I kind of want to take a look at this Pokemon as well. But as you can see, the opponent is going to go for a charge move. It is going to be that Rock Slide, and I am going to undercharge this one as well. It was kind of silly by me to go for that charge move, because yeah, I was hoping that they would knock me out, because I need the energy on my own Dialga in order to have any chance here, and so it's going to be a waiting game. They're going to knock me out here, I'm going to try to farm them down. All moves are going to be resisted on our Dialga, so it's going to be great. Rock Slide is going to do no damage basically. And we have to hope that we can still go for a charge move here against the opponent's Landorus. It's our only hope, but sadly we don't. Like 2 players that did know how to play out the endgame, sadly not in our favor. But yeah, what can I say? Heracross, you should not play it. It's still a fun Pokemon to use, so still have hopefully some fun tomorrow with the raid day. We're going to take a look at the Mega Evolution most likely tomorrow as well, so stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.